The First Empire. What is an empire? An empire is much larger than a kingdom. It is protected by a large army. Empires usually are ruled by a dynasty. A dynasty is formed when members of the same family become rulers one after another. The first empire to be established in India was that of the Mauryas. The Mauryan dynasty had three great rulers: Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara, and Ashoka the Great. Chandragupta Maurya, 321 BCE to 297 BCE. Chandragupta founded the Mauryan Empire with the help of Chanakya. Chanakya was an important minister in the court of the Nanda rulers. He was ill-treated by the Nanda king Dhananda and took a vow to destroy his kingdom. He found Chandragupta in the Vindhya forest. As Chanakya was well versed in politics and the affairs of the state, he trained Chandragupta and helped him raise an army. Thus, with Chanakya's help, Chandragupta overthrew the last Nanda ruler and became the king. Chanakya was appointed chief minister in the court of Chandragupta. After establishing his power in Magadha, he began his campaign against Seleucus. Seleucus Nicator was one of Alexander's generals. He was left behind by Alexander to look after the conquered territories. These territories were areas west of the Indus. After a prolonged struggle, Chandragupta defeated Seleucus in 305 BCE. He annexed the entire Punjab and areas across the Indus River. Seleucus had also to sign a peace treaty in which he gave away Kabul, Gandhara, and parts of Persia. Chandragupta also married the daughter of Seleucus. In this way, Chandragupta became the undisputed ruler of northern India. Chandragupta also conquered parts of central India and united the whole of the northern India under the Mauryan rule. He ruled for about 25 years. He became a Jain ascetic and left his throne for his son Bindusara. Sources of information. There are two sources of information about the Mauryans. Two important literary sources, Chanakya's Arthashastra and Megasthenes Indica, give us a complete picture of the administration and the Chandragupta. Arthashastra tells us about how to govern an empire and describes the administration of the Mauryas. Megasthenes Indica tell us about the political, social, and economic conditions of people during this period. The administration. It was divided into four divisions: central, provincial, district, and village. The king ruled from Pataliputra. He was assisted by a Mantri Parishad or council of ministers. They were his advisors. All important decisions were taken by the king. The kingdom was divided into many provinces. Each province had a prince. He too was assisted by many officers. Each province was divided into districts. The Pradeshtha was the head of the district. He was assisted by the Yuktas and the Rajuktas. Each district was made up of a number of villages. Each village had a headman. He measured the land and collected tax from villages. Taxation. Land revenue was the main source of the state's income. It varied from one-fourth to one-sixth of the produce. The other taxes levied were water tax, sales tax, forests, mines, customs, etc. The money collected from these taxes were spent on maintaining the army, paying salaries and building roads. Fines were also charged for littering public places. Army. Chandragupta Maurya had a huge army. The Senapati was the head of the army. The army consisted of 600,000 foot soldiers, 30,000 cavalry, 9,000 war elephants, and 8,000 chariots. The Mauryans had an efficient spy system. The spy kept the king informed about the happenings of the kingdom. Trade. Trade and commerce also flourished during this time. The state was responsible for providing irrigational facilities, sanitation, and famine relief to its people. It had trade relations with China, Egypt, and Sri Lanka. Bindusara, 297 BCE to 273 BCE. Bindusara extended the Mauryan Empire as far as Mysore. He defeated and annexed 16 small kingdoms. The only state that was left out was that of Kalinga. The kingdoms to the extreme south were friendly, so he did not annex them. During Bindusara's reign, the Mauryan administration functioned smoothly. The empire had good relations with Greeks, Syrians, and Egyptians. Coins of the Bindusara period. Ashoka, 273 BCE to 223 BCE. Bindusara was succeeded by his son Ashoka. The Mauryan Empire reached its peak under him. Ashoka invaded Kalinga in 261 BCE and defeated the Kalinga army. Kalinga surrendered, and for the first time the whole of India subcontinent except the regions of extreme south was under his rule. Kalinga War. The War of Kalinga was a turning point in the life of Ashoka. Thousands of soldiers had died on either side. Many were wounded and crippled. There was death and destruction everywhere. These made Ashoka sad and unhappy. He decided he would never fight any more wars. He gave up all forms of violence and became a strict vegetarian. He embraced Buddhism for the rest of his life. Digvijaya, or the policy of conquest, was replaced by Dharma Vijaya, or the victory of Dharma. Ashoka's Dhamma. Ashoka was inspired by the teachings of the Buddha. Ashoka wanted his people to live a virtuous life. These he called Dhamma. Dhamma is the Prakrit form of the Sanskrit word Dharma. Ashoka's Dhamma preached moral values. He advised people to respect their elders and to practice ahimsa, non-violence. Ashoka was against the killing of animals. Above all, Ashoka wanted peace in his empire. Welfare measures. Ashoka believed that the king should look upon his subjects as a father treats his children. He was responsible for carrying out a lot of welfare activities like building of roads, planting of trees, construction of wells, rest houses for travelers, hospitals for the sick, etc. Spread of Dhamma. In order to spread ahimsa, Ashoka appointed officials called Dhamma Mahamattas. They were required to explain to the people and to supervise the moral life of the people. Ashoka had friendly relations with his neighbors. He sent and received envoy to and from them. He sent Buddhist missions to Burma and other Southeast Asian countries. Ashoka also sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sangamitra to Sri Lanka on a Buddhist mission. He also propagated Buddhism in Chola and Pandya kingdoms. Ashoka's edicts. Ashoka's rock edicts and pillar inscriptions describe the significance of Dhamma. The items stress on simple virtues like respect for one's parents, teacher, and all living beings. The edicts are mostly written in Prakrit. The edicts have been placed in different parts of the empire so that people might read them. These edicts have been found in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nepal. Some of the pillars of Ashoka: Bull capital, Rampurva, Lion capital. Ashoka Chakra or Ashok Chakra. Sanchi Stupa. The great stupa at Sanchi was originally commissioned by Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BCE. Its nucleus was a simple hemispherical brick structure built over the relics of Buddha. Decline of the Mauryan Empire. The Mauryan Empire, which had been reared by successive wars culminating in the conquest of Kalinga, began to disintegrate after the exit of Ashoka in 232 BCE. The Mauryan Empire was finally destroyed by Pushyamitra in 185 BCE. He was a Brahmin general of the last Mauryan king named Brihadratha. Pushyamitra killed Brihadratha in public and usurped the throne of Pataliputra. Points to remember. Chanakya's Arthashastra and Megasthenes Indica are the two main sources of information of the Mauryan Empire. Chandragupta Maurya founded the Mauryan Empire. Bindusara further expanded it. The Mauryan Empire reached its peak under Ashoka. The War of Kalinga in 261 BCE was a turning point in his life. Ashoka's Dhamma preached moral values. The Mauryan Empire declined after Ashoka. It was finally destroyed by Pushyamitra Sunga in 185 BCE. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe.